Welcome, Tangle friends. I'm Annie, here in my studio in Estes Park, Colorado. Today we're going to be tangling a favorite tangle of mine from the beginning of my Zen-tangle journey. I used it, in fact, in my very first Botangle that I did for the Denver Botanic Gardens class that I taught so many years ago. And since then, I've been putting it everywhere. It is called banana leaf. And unfortunately, I don't know who stepped out banana leaf, so I can't give them credit. I would like to say a big thank you because obviously it's one of my favorites and I would like to show some gratitude for that. We're going to also concentrate on a heart today one more time. We still have a little bit of time left before Valentine's Day to make our special cards and Valentines for our loved ones. The heart that I have designed is one that is patterned off of something that was gifted me. Mervi, who is the former director of the School of Botanical Art and Illustration in Denver, Colorado's Denver Botanic Gardens, she brought for me from Mexico, from San Miguel, where she had started a program, an art program with our school there. And she brought this beautiful giant 3D Milagro. Milagros are small metal religious charms found in Mexican folk art. They are traditionally used for healing purposes and can be offered to a symbol of a saint in prayer for assistance and or thanks for assisting in a prayer. And they are found in the Hispanic Catholic churches, on altars and shrines, and each charm has a symbolic meaning. Mainly you see them in these little kind of charm-like forms. These are actually stylized large ones here, but very beautiful and really a fun thing to look up and research and explore. So we're going to do a Milagro heart. When I was drawing this little banana leaf heart, I looked at it after I was finished and I'm like, this reminds me of something. Well, no wonder. It's just like the heart that Mervi gave me, and I look at it every day. So it's gone into my subconscious. And that happens a lot in Zen-tangle. When you see something a lot, it comes out of you in your art in different ways. So look at all of these banana leaf hearts. I went a little bit crazy, but I do have a lot of loved ones that I'm going to be gifting little Valentines to. So this is a great start. And today, these are the little Milagros I was telling you about. So today we're going to be working on this heart. I'm going to be using a little circle, 2.5-inch circle, 140-pound hot press paper that I cut out myself. And we'll be needing a soft graphite pencil, a kneaded eraser. We'll of course need our pens, which will be red and black. Both are from Sakura. I'm using an 01 black and the 03 red. And then for our coloring, we're going to be using Scarlet Lake and Black Cherry from Prismacolor. I've gone ahead and penciled in this heart. I don't want to make you sit here and watch me erase and sketch and erase and sketch. Hearts are a little tricky to draw, so I would suggest if you want it really the way you want it, you should do it in pencil first. And then you can go ahead and use your kneaded eraser to really make that line faint before you ink it in. I'm using a plastic eraser to get rid of some of my sketch lines and taking up my 01 Micron pen in black. You do want to save a little bit of room around here for a border, an aura line, that is. If you look at this, I actually have 2 aura lines on this one, and I kind of went off the side here. I might not even be able to fit, well, actually, I will be able to fit 2 aura lines. So let's do it this way. I'm going to go ahead and draw my black ink around this penciled in string. And since I have so little room out here, I wouldn't be able to fit 2 aura lines. I'm going to aura from the inside first. Then I'm going to aura again on the outside. This is going to be for my fine gold line. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put a little circle in here. You might want to do that with your pencil just to get it right. It's like a big gemstone. That actually worked out pretty well. Making it a little bigger, because we're going to put an aura line around that as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and do one more aura line, capturing that little gemstone and attaching it to our heart. So let's start here. Don't worry about stuff like that. It'll be all good in the end once you get everything colored in. Now we're going to go for our pattern, banana leaf. I'm going to show you first on a piece of scrap paper here how banana leaf is constructed. You start with a spike. I'm going to do this in just a straight line first because it gets a little tricky when you end up putting it into the curves that we're going to do in the heart. At the end of our spike, we're going to put a little kind of egg shape on top. You go down a little ways and then make this egg shape. And then about 2/3 the way up, we're going to start with kind of like a half a heart. So I thought this was just a perfect tangle for a heart, since you actually draw a heart. Do you see how that's a heart? So it's a heart within a heart. And then you continue adding these leaf shapes, and you can bow them out. You can make them smaller. You can make them wider. What we do to one side, we will do to the other, but let's just stick with this side first. What I like to do is when I get down to the stem area here, I get progressively smaller. I could have made that stem a little longer, but you get the idea. So you go about, again, like the little egg shape up here, you go 2/3 of the way up and then start bowing out. So practice this first on a scrap piece of paper or in your sketchbook. It will help you when you get on to the heart shape. And we're going to be doing some more little things on the inside there, but let's just go for it right on our project. So again, if you want to take your pencil and use it to create a string to know where you're going to be putting your heart, you can do that. I'm going to look at this, and do you see how there's some overlap here? That's what's so pretty about this heart. We've got this one going this direction and this one coming underneath, and we've got them on top of each other, which of course, as I always say, when you have overlap, you have a lot of great places to shade. I'm going to pencil in a string that goes about like that, really kind of curvy. And I'm going to do that one first before I pencil in the other string. And I'm going to go ahead and get my pen, and we're going to go for the banana leaf. So this is the spike shape. And I say it's a spike shape because it goes from being very, very pointy to widening out a little bit to make sort of a midrib for our banana leaf. And here I'm going to try to make a little kind of flared out stem. Okay, so let's go for it. Here's our egg shape. 2/3 up, I'm going to start my leaf. So you see how that kind of forms a heart. Now, this is the tricky part. So we're going to have to kind of bend around the stem, the midrib, and we're going to, our little heart shapes are going to be distorted a little bit, but that's okay. Looks like a real plant. So I want to get back to where it's almost, you can do something like that where you make almost a flux and you've got this negative space back here, just to get back into that rhythm of the banana leaf shape. I'm using this side of the heart to kind of guide where I stop my leaf shape. The further in you go, the more red you're going to have in the background. So that's up to you. See, that's our first leaf, and now we're going to put our second one in. I will try to make something come here and then around here and then back under. Correcting as I go. It's really fun to kind of morph these, or not morph, but fit these into the spaces that you have. So as you can see here, my midrib is really close to the edge here. So we're not going to see all of the leaf shape like we did on this one, right? It's going to be more like this one, where the leaf gets cut off by the heart border. So starting with our little egg shape. See, this is the heart border here that I have to stop at, but I am still going to make my leaf vein. So it's pretty filled out, almost completely filled out. There's not going to be a whole lot of negative space in there, but that's okay. So then I like to go back in and do some line weighting. Remember how we do those little triangular shapes at the end of our line? Just gives this a little bit more character. And so as always, when we're going to have an overlap, we're going to add a little bit of accented line here just to push that leaf back. It's kind of like a little built-in drop shadow almost, right? Do you see how that just really made that pop, this top flower? Here's a little bit of an overlap. And I think that's good enough for that. So now we're going to have fun just coloring in the background with our red pen. That's always a great Zen flow for me. Sometimes it's good to just go put a dot where you know you're going to be coloring, just so you don't end up coloring over your leaf shapes. Like, it gets a little confusing up here, so I'm going to start right there. Looks like our banana leaf lost a little leaf there. Makes it a little bit more realistic. Then we're going to do that all-important color layering, where we take our Scarlet Red colored pencil and go right over the top of that red pen work. This you don't see much on camera, but you will certainly see it when you do it yourself at home. It turns into nearly a velvety surface. And we're laying down the colored pencil so that we can blend with our black grape to give this some more shading and dimension. This is just like what we did with the Tangled Muka Star and our Samson Christmas ornament. Same concept. So that's where, when we add our black grape, it's going to take nicely to this surface. And we want to add the shading around the edges of the leaves, in those crevices. This would be dark here. And it helps lift the leaves up away from that red background, and it just makes it feel like it's another layer of dimension. So you kind of want to burnish this after you've done the black cherry. And what does that mean? It just means melding those two colored pencil colors together, blending those pigments together. And you can do that in many ways. You can use a solvent blender. I've shown you that often, or at least a lot of my students. And you can also go back and take your red Scarlet Lake and just go out back on top of that and blend out that dark cherry so there's not a hard edge. You can also use a colorless blending pencil. This is really almost not even needing that blending because it's so such small areas. Let's go ahead and do this little border here. It's basically a pattern I've already taught you. If you go back a couple videos back, it's called Shattuck. And we're going to do a little round Shattuck here. So we're going to start at this point here, and we're going to do our rainbow. 1, 2, 3, and then find the corner. 1, 2, 3. It's a change of direction. If you have a 005 pen, that would be preferable for this because it's such a small area. See how we're changing direction. Whew. That was fun. I just enjoy doing that. Take your time and just enjoy that pattern. It's great for ZenFlow. So now what are we going to do? How are we going to shade this? Let's take our 2B pencil, and this is what I like to do. I like to add some graphite all along the midrib on both sides. A little bit on this side of the egg shape. And then I'm going to take my blending stump and I'm going to shape that shading, drawing it out past the midrib into this banana leaf area. And I'm just kind of staying in the center and making almost a little mini banana leaf on the inside with the graphite. Do you see how I'm saving out the edges and leaving them in light, but I'm keeping the midrib area nice and dark. And what that does is it helps to make the banana leaf feel like it's folding up, that it's got some movement. Want to get rid of that hard edge from your pencil. There's a couple different ways you can shade this. You can also shade according to each leaf section and put your graphite under each segment and shade it that way. I just really like this because we can do something else to the middle to add yet another layer of interest, which I will show you in a minute. So let's do this one. Remember, if you end up getting too much graphite in a certain section during this shading process, you can take your kneaded eraser and lift back the light. Like if I got this all dark, 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 so then I just go, take my kneaded eraser and lift. It's all good again. So up here we have a little bit of overlap going on, right? Oh wait, let's finish this first and then we'll talk about the overlap shade. So what I'm talking about is this leaf is on top of this one. So we can put some shading down here where we did that emphasized line, and that just really lifts it from the other. Same here. And here. And if you get a little bit too much, again, I'm going to lift out some of that highlight that I took away. So you want to blend until you have all of your hard lines blended out. So that is banana leaf, and I would just finish this out with a little bit of a jelly roll pen here around. It's gold. I actually used, for mine, I used the Fine Tech gold paint that I will have in the description box below. Oh, we forgot one more thing to shade, and that is our little egg shape here. You can put a little bit on that top line and then just blend it out, always keeping at least one side highlighted. Then you go in and do your gemstone, but that's another lesson altogether. So what I did want to show you, however, is, so I have this one to show you. You see how I added these lines in here, almost like little fescues as sort of extra little mid-ribs within each of those banana leaf segments. And we can do that. I kind of really like this look without, for the Milagro, but I want to show you how I did that. So I have one that is blank, and I'm going to take my 01 Micron in black and just show you what I do. I like to curve mine, so I start with a little dot, and then I come around and I curve it back in, almost like an inverted S shape. And that gives it yet more movement. And there you have that. But you can see now, I would even still shade that because then you get that wonderful furling up of your leaves. Let me show you a couple other samples. I've been doing these for so long. You can see this is from my Carol Oles Tangle a Day journal. This was a long time ago, 2015. Here's my very first idea with the banana leaf in the heart. And then I did these guys, which are really fun. Here I used a printemps, like a little rose on the inside. And here I colored in the negative space and just made the little white dots. And here I did half of the leaf, or half of the heart with the leaf and the other half with other Zentangles. So there's all kinds of ways to explore this and use it. And I wish you lots and lots of fun, and I hope you make some really wonderful Valentines for the people you love, and they will just go, wow. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye now. If you like these lunchtime tutorials, please give them a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I also invite you to check out my website for classes that I have scheduled or to purchase my tangle tags for your favorite step outs. That's botangle.net. I'm leaving you with some other links too. Zentangle.com, where you can learn more about the Zentangle method from its founders, Rick Roberts and Maria Thomas. You can also visit their store there for a multitude of Zentangle paper tiles, tools, books, and kits. Tanglepatterns.com is that site I talk about where you can explore hundreds of tangle patterns, read about them, and get the step out, which is basically the deconstruction of the pattern. And finally, if you'd like to share your beautiful results with me and my student community, please join Annie's Botangle Alumni Facebook page. We're a private group where we inspire each other with our work and offer tips and useful information about art and Zentangle.